Welcome to today's Explainer. We are diving into something really fascinating today, the absolute tipping point of human stubbornness. We're looking at that exact intersection where our deeply ingrained resistance finally, collides with absolute undeniable truth. It's a psychological and philosophical phenomenon that tells us so much about how we actually process evidence and reality. Section 1. That moment denial ends. Before we get into the grand philosophical metaphors, I want you to think about an ordinary argument. Have you ever reached that moment where your denial becomes actually kind of comical? You're in this long, exhausting debate, you've thrown up every defense, every possible counterpoint, but suddenly the evidence laid out in front of you is just so clear, so glaringly obvious, that continuing to object would make you look ridiculous. Denying it any further wouldn't just be stubborn, it would literally be funny. That specific moment, hitting that wall, is exactly what we're going to unpack today. Our source material illustrates this undeniable weight of evidence with a really profound allegory. It's about a deeply stubborn mind resisting reality. Eventually, this mind hits a solid wall of pure, unadulterated logic. And what happens next isn't some tragic defeat, it's actually a really beautiful surrender. Let's look at exactly how this story unfolds. Section 2, The Great Ambassador's Call. Picture this, a massive crowd. There's a sense of deep, almost electric urgency in the air, and a king's great ambassador steps up to deliver a message that changes absolutely everything. He presents this stark, dramatic contrast to the crowd, commanding the people to prepare themselves for a journey to another, permanent country. He makes a striking comparison, saying this temporary, chaotic world we're currently in, it's nothing more than a dark dungeon compared to that permanent realm of happiness. He's laying out a massive paradigm shift here, asking them to see their current reality as just a fleeting, shadowed prison compared to the eternal perfection that's waiting for them. Now, listening to this call are two companions. One is absolutely certain of the truth, and the other is a stubborn objector. After the ambassador lays out this undeniable reality, we hit a pivotal moment. The certain friend turns to his stubborn companion, handing over the ultimate challenge. He says, "Now the floor is yours. Say what you will." He's basically stepping back and letting the sheer weight of the ambassador's logic do all the heavy lifting. It's literally the ultimate checkmate moment. Section 3. Words fail against the sun. Okay, so the frantic energy of the argument, it's completely over. We've reached the philosophical climax of the story, and the atmosphere completely shifts from an urgent debate to a really warm, peaceful realization. Faced with all this overwhelming evidence, the stubborn friend finally speaks. He says, "What can I say? What can be said against something so clear? Can one speak against the sun at midday?" And wow, that just perfectly captures his complete epiphany. I mean, you can't look up at a blazing sun in the middle of the day and try to argue that it's dark out. It's an impossible, completely absurd stance. The friend has fully surrendered to the truth because the evidence is as bright and undeniable as the midday sun. The stubborn friend continues, saying, "I only say, I believe now." He finally admits that beyond this complex, unstable, and chaotic place, there really is a realm of happiness that perfectly suits us. He completely acknowledges that they're candidates for that higher destination. You can almost feel the immense psychological relief in his words. The exhaustion of constantly fighting the truth is just gone, and it's replaced by the profound comfort of knowing he's meant for a permanent, beautiful reality, rather than the dungeon he was clinging to. Section 4. Acceptance and Final Call. So, how do we actually go from deep denial to complete acceptance? Well, the source text lays out a very clear three-step progression. Step 1. The accumulation of evidence. You see, true acceptance isn't born from force or coercion. It comes from a consistent buildup of undeniable truths. Step 2. The weight of logic. Eventually, the sheer mass of this evidence just becomes way too heavy for stubbornness to support. And that leads directly to Step 3. Honest acceptance. Even the most stubborn objector, when faced with this undeniable progression, can honestly say, "I believe." It's just a completely natural, logical surrender. Ultimately, the source text shifts from this intense human struggle to a much higher perspective. While we human beings seem to require long arguments and absolute mountains of evidence to finally accept the truth, the text points us to the effortless ease of divine will. There's no struggle, no debate, and no resistance in the highest order of reality. The text encapsulates this beautifully with a profound verse from the Quran. When he wills a thing, he only says to it, "Be," and it is. The source asks us to just let the weight of that simplicity sink in for a moment.
The contrast it draws is absolutely breathtaking. We fight, we argue, we deny until the truth finally breaks through. But on a divine level, creation and reality occur with a single, effortless command.
And that brings us to our final thought. I want you to turn this lens on yourself for a second. Think back on your own life. When did you finally surrender to an undeniable truth that you'd been resisting? Maybe an idea you fought against for a really long time but finally had to accept. How did that exact moment feel? Was it a defeat or was it a massive relief, like stepping out of the dark and into the light of the midday sun? Keep that question with you. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope it sparked some fascinating thoughts for your own journey.